everyone, thank you for joining me. Wendy Anderson, justbe.me. So, this has taken a few days to kind of like sit in with me and to get my head round the explanation of this. So, information that's going to be coming in is about the creatrix rather than the matrix. So, it's everything is turned on its head. So kind of like in the matrix, everything was created externally and we had that experience which affected the internal. It's the other way around now. So in the creatrix, it's kind of like from the internal space we are creating in the external space in the experiences. So what rule of creation, new learning, not rule, we don't like rules, do we? Too restrictive in creation. So a new way of creation, shall we say, so a new learning. So think about it, you're taking an art class and you're doing a painting, and whereas you kind of like at play school, it's kind of like you just take your paintbrush and you just paint whatever you want and you just have fun and enjoy it, and that's it. Get a mess and make a mess. It's a little bit like that. So it's kind of like it's learning to create with a little bit less mess, so to speak. So this next learning is about creation with the masculine and the female. So when we create from one space or the other, our creations tend to be a little bit dark, or it'll not be seen, so to speak. So if you can imagine, the moon is the male and the sun is the female. You need the sun to light the moon up, otherwise you'd never see it. So what's kind of like happened in the matrix is that there's been a lot of one type of energy that's gone off on its own and it's created. So to all intents and purposes, let's say it's masculine, and kind of like all feminists and manists, please don't jump up and down on me for this. There is no judgment in any of this, where we've been or where we're going. There's no judgment in it. I'm just trying to explain it the best way possible that I can. So if we see the moon as the masculine energy and it's gone away and it's kind of like it's didn't want to create for some reason with the female energy, so it's gone away and it's created something dark, and it's not been seen for ages. It's not been seen. Okay, so then you've got the sun, and let's call it the feminine energy. So the feminine energy could be, so the masculine energy could be, shall we say, the doingness, the practical things, the building things, the very tangible, third dimensional things, the solid. And then you've got the female energy, which is more about the self-nurturing, the daily disciplines, the self-awareness, the reviews, so to speak, the intention. So you've got two very, very different energies, and both absolutely beautiful in their own right. If you didn't have the doingness of the masculine beautiful energy, then you wouldn't get much done, to be honest, let's face it. And then, if you've only got kind of like your feminine energy of just sat in self-awareness the whole time without, you just the ideas, you just, and that's it. It'll never come into fruition. So we need both to come together for something to blossom. Otherwise, you're just going to get something that's going to come up like a bud, let's like that. And without sunshine, what's it going to do? It's just going to wither and die. So if you're thinking about this on creating new soul projects, leadership, your family, there is so many aspects that this masculine and female is coming in through, that we need both together. Otherwise it's kind of creating in the dark and nobody's going to see it. And it's kind of like, you've got beautiful creations here, everyone, so it's kind of like they are to be seen, they are to be enjoyed, they are to be heard, more importantly by you. the creator itself. And if other people see it, then that's a bonus, because other people will take whatever it is that they need from it, from this creation. So this is not just creating for self. So when we're creating something just for ourselves in the doingness, so to speak, that's service to self. It's not service to the whole of humanity. Nobody's seeing it, so what's the point? Nobody can see it. But what we're seeing as well is like the female energy of the sun coming on some of these dark creations, and it's kind of like, the whole of the collective kind of like, what the F is that being created that is so dark that let's turn the light back off on that one. But you can't, you can't. Once you've seen it, you've seen it. So then it's kind of like, right, well, how can it be sorted out? Well, we raise our consciousness, which takes the female energy. There's a light going on it, and then it's kind of like the self-reflection energy. But you also need the love and the nurturing. So it's the nurture the self, and then I can see what I've created. Without that feminine, and we've got both male and feminine aspects within ourselves. Within each individual, we've got both aspects. However, some of the human programs that we've had, and sometimes this is about ancestral healing as well. So kind of like, if you're a female and your menstruation has stopped, you are not creating. And this is either because you are around too many men, or you are in too much of the masculine energy of just the doing, and not coming back to self-nurturing. It could be that maybe you had a parent, sometimes a father, that doesn't like the female aspect in you, the taking time out to self-nurture. You may have been called lazy, or you've got to be like them, you've got to be doing all the time, the self-nurturing, or the yoga, or the meditation, or the spirituality, or is kind of like, oh, that's just woo-woo and it's ridiculous. And my father was the same. He did not like that aspect in me, so then I would dampen it or even reject it, and that would switch off the whole of my female energy, and I'm just left in this male energy of just doing all the time, going out to work, just the doing, pure service to self, no service to humanity, just going to work, just the doing, because that's what was expected of me. And I switched all my female parts off. And again, kind of like anyone that is trying for a baby, have a look at this aspect within self as well. Anyone that is trying to create a business or a soul project right now, are you just purely focusing on the doing aspect of it? Are you doing any alignment, self-reflection, which is a female aspect of it? So you might have got away with that in 3D with these limiting, and they were limiting creations because they were only third dimensional. We are beings now that through choice and free will, we are coming out of slavery and into freedom of creation. And what's allowing that freedom of creation is this feminine energy, the need and the requirement for that self-evaluation, not self-evaluation, because that sounds a bit judgy, the self-reflection and the self-nurture. So in order to do the self-reflection, because we are looking at the dark creations within ourselves as well, and we need the dark and the light to create a neutrality, we are looking at dark creations within ourselves right now. So we need to kind of like have a little bit of self-love and nurture. So it could be whatever that is for you, that basically makes your heart play music, feel joy, lights you up, to then have to go in the underground, go down deep, do the shadow work, to look at some of your programs, some of your dark edges and sides without judgment, because you've done the self-love work. This is going to bring the balance into 5D creations, the creatrix. So this is the new way of creation that we are learning. So also kind of like, so that is the male and masculine female within us, within each individual, and then you've got a counterpart, a masculine and female counterpart. They may be on this planet, they may be somewhere else, in another dimension, having another experience. It doesn't really matter, but you will always have a masculine or feminine counterpart to you, to you, and you've got that within you also as well. So take that philosophy, or I like to call it knowingness. It's knowingness. Just all these things are coming back online as we are, ascending and enabling to look into certain different programs in certain dimensions that we are choosing to play in, and we're always playing out. But look at in 3D the way genders have been played, to, shall we say, put a glass ceiling on our creativity. Let's break that glass ceiling, everyone. So it's the doing, the masculine, and that's the tangible, and it's also kind of like the etheric, the self-review, the nurture, the mother, the father. You've got the builder, you've got the imagination, you've got access to all these beautiful, beautiful energies within us. So when we do this, we create from a 360 perspective. It's more chance of it blossoming. When we're doing just this, it's not, it's limited. Come on, we're worth more than that as human beings. Remember who we are. We are limitless beings. We are multi-dimensional creators. We've got infinite energy. That is our primary, our innate beingness, is that pure playfulness, the abundance. We have everything. Also, to those of you beautiful, beautiful souls at the moment that are just in receiving mode. So when I say just in receiving mode, you'll have probably finished a job or finished a way of beingness, or finished a project. Something has ended in that space for you. Something has ended it might have been bringing in money in, and now you're kind of like, you're left like a tree in winter. There's no leaves on you, you're left bare, you're left empty. Beautiful. So reconnect with your feminine energy. So basically the universe is saying it's time for you to receive, and to receive is not in the doingness, to receive is in the beingness. So if you are in that energy, get into the beingness state. Just enjoy kind of like self-nurturing, reviewing. That is still doing a lot of work. That is service to whole of humanity. So it's not just service to self when we are doing this. You are serving, and not just our beings on our planet. This is reflective to all other planets as well. So whatever human beings on this planet also has a resonance to all beings everywhere. So this is why it's so important to get in touch with these aspects of self that is within us. Look at where the feminine energies, the feminine creative energies, have been played down played down in, say, education systems, played down in health systems. It's kind of like, you've got to take something, or you've got to do something all the time. Sometimes it's just literally being in the beingness and allowing that creative energy just to flood into your body. Conscious breath, and it's doing nothing, but it's also doing everything. I've done the test, and your body, your organs start to clear toxins. Your body just starts to come back into alignment by doing nothing, just breathing. But yet we've been told that you've got to look for a cure, you've got to look for this, you've got to do this, you've got to self-nurture, all about self-nurture. Yet keep your body into some kind of physical alignment, put some nutrients in it, some good stuff in it, and just allow it to do what it needs to do, and it will mend naturally. A lot of you may be, so those of you that are just in the nothingness phase at the moment, it's because you're in receiving mode. It's to get in contact back with that feminine creative energy of just being in the me-ness, self-reflection. So that's also creative energy that will, it's, yeah, if there's something coming. So when we get in that space of just reflection, there may be a seed planted, an idea or something that might come in. Use that emptiness just to allow, receiving, allow whatever it is. And then something, when it's ripe, when it's good and ready, and it's universal timing, it's not your timing, it's universal timing, something will come in and it's like, right, you've got to hop to it now. You'll start to see rabbits, hares, whatever it is, it's hop to it, right? You know, get the masculine energy going. It's the doingness now, it's the practicality, getting that energy. You're working with both fields. So then whatever it is that you're going to create is just going to come into bloom. You may be feeling it around the throat and the chest and the heart centre right now. If you're feeling it kind of like in the throat and the chest, your sacral, so your kidneys, your urinary system is going to be a little bit crunchy as well at the moment. When I say crunchy, literally with kidney stones. So one thing that I was given today to give to you, if you've got any throat infections going on, if you've got any kidney infections going on, and you'll have both simultaneously. If your throat's out, your sacral's going to be out, because that's your creativity centre, and this is attached to your expression. So again, it's something to release both that masculine and a feminine expression of, I can now vocalize my needs. If it's something that I want to get on with, get out of my way. If it's something that I just need to be with, leave me alone, you know, and that those expressions kind of like come from there. So the mudra that is really, really helpful for throat infections is just that. So thumb over the index finger, and you can use it just to put a little bit of acupressure down on that kind of like your knuckle there. And you know, you've got your two fingers tucked in and those kind of like up there like that. You may have seen this in ancient paintings from kind of like cardinal figures, things like that. So they obviously had access to higher knowledge that is forgotten in our time. So this, I am just reminding you of, this is something that you can do to help your throat and your sacral area, kidney stones, adrenals. So if you are feeling kind of like, my energy is just spent, this mudra can be really helpful. So 10 minutes morning, 10 minutes in the evening, you'll be right as a bobbin. So I hope that helps all of you out there. All of my gifts to you as to the stillness, as to what it was bringing in for me. And don't get me wrong, I have been very fidgety and found it hard to be in the stillness. But I know it's good for me ultimately in the end. So I have tried my best the last 2 days to find stillness, and this is what it's brought me in to gift to you. So I am working with the female energy to bring it in, just the beingness, doing my yoga, being on my mat, walking in nature, meditations, breath work, whatever it takes to find that stillness, to bring in this information for you. And me creating this video, the doingness is a masculine energy, putting it out there and uploading it, and you know, the sharing it and everything else is a masculine energy. So I'm not trying to be sexist here. I am merely trying to illuminate a way of being in the creatrix that you may find useful. Take it or leave it. It's a free will planet, and we've all got choice. Love you all, and I will leave my magic with all you to also remember your own magic space. So get colouring, get playful, get creating, enjoy. Take care. Bye.